Howdy! Welcome back to the Hanks YouTube channel. This is our Ingredient Spotlight series. The video today is about food colors, specifically moving from synthetic or artificial to natural food colors. We have two vendors talking today. The first is Gary Morris from Food Ingredient Solutions, and he'll be talking about the watchouts to consider when moving from one type of color system to another. And then we have Steve Davis from Sethna's Roquette Caramel Colors.
If you're currently using synthetic colors and you want to make a switch to naturals, what can you expect? So the first thing is the cost and use difference. With synthetic colors, you are taking low-cost raw materials and you're doing a chemical reaction and you're achieving very high purity level finished products. Most of the FD&C dyes average around 90% pure dye. With naturally sourced colors, they exist in nature in a very stabilized form. So once you remove them from their natural environment, they tend to become unstable or much less stable. And there are obvious limits on how much you can concentrate that level of the colorant that's found in nature. Therefore, if you're going from basically a low-cost chemical product or dye, and you're wanting to switch to a crop-based or nature-based material that's going to have a much higher raw material cost and go through an extraction process, you're going to typically see a 10 to 20-fold increase in your cost and use if you make that switch from synthetics to naturals. Beyond that, there's an issue of stability. One of the things everybody asks about a lot is shelf stability. I get 2 years with my synthetic colors in this particular product. Can I get this on natural colors? There's been a lot of improvements made with natural colors and stability, but you do typically, in most applications, you do see a shorter shelf life just because you're dealing with Mother Nature, basically. It's less of a problem in opaque packs than it is in clear packs. You have a lot of issues with shelf-stable beverages that are in clear packs, especially if you've got highly fortified products as well. You tend to have less stability when you're using mostly on the red side with the anthocyanins. So how do we go about choosing the right color for your application if you want to switch from, say, red 40 to a natural color? There's just a handful of things that are quite important to understand about the application in order to pick the right product. The obvious things are, do you want a liquid or a powder product? Do you want an oil-soluble or a water-soluble product? Beyond that, the critical parameters we get into are pH. pH is very important. There are some natural colors that need an acidic environment less than a 4.2, 4.5 in order to function well, and above that they begin to turn color and degrade. So pH is very important. Whether you have an acidic or you have a basic, there's a selection of colors that'll work throughout the spectrum, but pH is one of the most important factors. Next is your processing temperatures. Do you have high heat? Are you baking it, and how long are you baking it? That's also very important because that could rule out a lot of products that might just turn brown or completely degrade in the presence of high heat. Your packaging is important, whether you have clear or opaque packaging. If you have opaque packaging, it does open up a wider variety of colors, especially in the yellow hue, that might not be suitable for use in clear packaging. Also, if you have any fortification, heavy fortification in a lot of these fortified beverages, that will affect the choice, that can rule out some products pretty quickly and help hone down what might work the best in your application. So to go back through that in order of importance, your pH is very important, your processing temperature is very important, Fortification levels are very important, and what type of packaging do you have?
We just heard from Gary Morris of Food Ingredient Solutions. A few watch outs when transitioning from artificial to natural food colors. Our next speaker is Steve Davis of Sethnus Roquette Caramel Colors. He'll be talking about their caramelized sugar syrups, their organic caramel colors, and their Class 1 colors. They also have an amazing YouTube channel and website full of detailed information. So if you need any further information about caramel colors, please check out the Sethnus Roquette Caramel Color website and YouTube channel.
My name is Steve Davis with Sethnus Roquette Caramel Color. Caramel color continues to be the most widely used ingredient for the coloring of food and beverages around the world. Sethnus Roquette has been in business since 1880, only manufacturing caramel colors. Originally, it was the Sethnus Products Company by the Sethnus family, and Roquette acquired our business about 2 years ago. We have noticed a trend in our business over the last several years of customers migrating towards the use of Class 1 caramel color versus the historical use of Class 3s and 4s. The reason for the Class 1 interest these days is really definitely tied to clean label and minimally processed ingredients. Class 1s compared to Class 2s, 3s, and 4s is the most minimally processed caramel color. That is because there are no chemical reactants used during the process. It is simply the carbohydrate, which could either be a high DE dextrose syrup or a sucrose syrup from cane sugar. Be either invert sucrose or straight sucrose. Those are our two primary raw materials. The process itself is strictly the heat. The carbohydrate goes into a reactor, either a pressurized reactor or an atmospheric reactor, and it's heated. And that's it. That is a Class 1 process. There are no chemical reactants. The result of not using reactants in Class 1s is a product that does not have the color strength or darkness that a Class 3 or 4 can provide. They will also have typically a little bit higher hue indexes, which is the measure of red tones or yellow tones. So there is a challenge as the industry trends towards Class 1s, particularly if they've been using 3s and 4s. To try to switch to a Class 1, it's going to be a challenge to get the same level of darkness without the red tones coming through as well. The other specific nuances of caramel color that have become quite trendy in the market are organic. And like I said, we have a certified organic powdered caramel and we have a certified organic liquid caramel. To be certified organic, it must be Class 1, it must be non-GMO. So consequently, as you might guess, the organic caramel colors are produced from certified organic cane sugars. We also have quite a variety of non-GMO project verified caramel colors. I think we're up to about 13 now in our portfolio. And that does expand across Class 1s, 3s, and 4s. But as far as the Class 1s are concerned, which is the topic here, we do have a Class 1, we have a liquid non-GMO project verified Class 1, 2 of those. And we have one non-GMO project verified Class 1 powder. That would also be something that we're seeing quite a bit of activity in. And then thirdly, an area of our product line that's getting quite a bit of interest these days are the caramelized sugar syrups. The caramelized sugar syrups are called that simply because they don't have the color strength to be called caramel colors. And more often than not, the application for these syrups is as a flavor additive possibly, or I should say a sweetness supplement. And when that is the primary function of the caramelized sugar syrup, then there could be a labeling change other than just caramel color. It could be labeled just caramel. Those areas seem to be trending very heavily. There's been a pretty consistent trend now for the past few years. Clean label. And in the world of caramel color, clean label, like I said, consists of these Class 1 options. Our friends at Hank's Brokerage have been representing us for many, many years and are very knowledgeable about caramel color. We stock many of our products there locally in the Dallas area, and I am always available to assist and support Hank's in their efforts and do whatever I can to educate and answer customers' questions to try to make sure they have the most suitable caramel color for their application. Please don't hesitate to call us with any questions you might have. Thank you very much.